people, and welcome back to another hardware review, and we are back with Artery, and we are back with the PAL 2. But it's the PAL 2 Pro, another Tony B project, and it is a little bit different to the PAL 2. It's got variable wattage on it. So we'll do like we normally do, have a little look around the box itself, show you all the contents you do get, we'll have a little look around the device, and then we'll do the pros and the cons. Right, straight onto the box, it does tell you that it is Artery. It's a Tony B project. It tells you it is the PAL 2 Pro. You've got a picture of your wattage. It does go up to 22 watts. You've then got a picture of your mod, and then you've got that wonderful statement at the bottom. On the side, you have got the Artery website, and you've also got, on the other side, you've got your scratch and sniff, and you've got all their social media sites. On the other side, it's just got PAL 2 and Artery. On the back, nothing special. You've got your cautions, that wonderful statement, and all your kite marks, and don't vape in a bin. Just like normal, if you look just above my shoulder, sure ting, you will see everything you do get in the packaging itself. So let's have a little look at the mod itself. It hasn't really changed in design. It is slightly a little bit fatter than the PAL 2. And the buttons squarer, and they've changed the actual window where you can see your e-liquid. But apart from that, it's exactly the same as the PAL 2. So let's go top to bottom. They have changed the drip tip. It isn't that flat mouthpiece that you had connected to the pod. This one's a little bit different. It is a 510 drip tip. You can interchange it. It is a stubby little 510. I have put another 510, which is like a standard one. Some people might like the look of it. I think it just looks a little bit too tall on there. So if you've got other stubby little drip tips, then in personal opinion, I think they're better to use. And then it fits into the actual, it's like a silver ring, and that fits into your pod, and that's what you screw your coil into. Right, talking about the pod, let's have a little look at it. It is the same design as the PAL 2, except obviously you've got a different mouthpiece. It isn't that flat mouthpiece. And it's also clear plastic, which I think is a corking idea. You can see your e-juice instead of that darkened plastic where it was very hard to see in the window. They've also changed the filling mechanism. Again, it's quite simple. Pull the little rubber bung up and you have got your filling port there. But they've sort of made it into like a key design. So when you're putting your nib in, you're not getting that airlock. You're able to get the air in there, and there's not juice going all over like you did with the PAL itself. Now, this is a 2mm pod, and you also get a 3mm pod. Now, there is a little tiny hack to this. If you look at the bottom, you can actually unclip it and pull it apart, and where the actual divider, it's like a plastic divider, is in there, I got my little clips in there and just cut it around. It is a little bit fiddly, and then I got a little nail file and made sure it was just all filed down. So that then turns it into a 3mm pod. Right, to get your actual coil out, it's very, very, very simple. You just unscrew it, and as it comes out, there you go. And again, to put it back in, you just screw it in, and it goes into that mouthpiece. Now, let's talk about the coils. You've got a 1 ohm coil, and you've also got a 0.6 mesh coil. Now, with the actual wattage, when you've got it in the 1 ohm coil, it'll only go up to 13.5 watts. When you've got the 0.6 mesh coil in there, it will go up to 22 watts. Now, they're recommending for the 1 ohm coil that you can use 50-50 or 50 to 70, or on the 0.6 mesh coil, you better use in 70. Now, changing your coil, you have to actually take the airflow off and then screw your coil back into the airflow. Make sure you do not lose that airflow when you're changing your coil. Don't throw it away. And your airflow just moves from side to side and locks off. So yeah, that's the pod itself. Very, very simple to fit in. I will show you side by side, actually, the difference between the pods. Obviously, there's a different mouthpiece, and each pod fits in the PAL 2 and also the PAL 2 Pro, which is really good. Again, you just put it in, slip it in, push it down, and you are ready to go. As we can see, you've got your screen, you've got where your pod fits, you've got your screen, you've got your up and down buttons, and if you have a little look at the panel itself, you've got your actual window, which shows you how much e-liquid you've got left, and you've got your 2 magnets. Right then, let's have a little look at the bottom. It does tell you that it is a Tony B project, all copyrights reserved by Artery. You've got don't vape in a bin and all your kite marks. On the side, it has got PAL 2 Pro. You've then got your airflow. And then if you go down, you've got your USB charger. And then there's a little dot, and that is where your light comes on. That'll show you when it's 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. And it'll also show you your battery indication as well. If we have a little look on the front, you've got your button. It is a little bit different on the PAL 2. It's a round one. This one's a square one. Again, 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. If we turn it around, you've then got your little tiny window at the back, and that shows you where your juice is and what level it is. And like I said, it is nice and clear now. It hasn't got that darkened plastic. So let's have a little look at the menu itself. Well, it hasn't really got a menu. It's very, very simple. If you have a look, we've got the 1 ohm coil in there. So you've got your battery indicator. It tells you your ohms, and then it tells you that it's 13.5 watts. Obviously, you can round robin that to 5 watts because it goes from 5 to 22. If we swap it over to the other coil, you'll be able to see that it comes up that it is 0.6. Again, you've got your battery meter, but it'll go up to 22 watts. That stops you from burning your coil out on the 1 ohm one. So that's roughly around the device itself. So the pros and the cons. Let's go to the cons first like we normally do. Now with the PAL 2 we had a few cons to it. They've sort of sorted them out with the Pro. The first one was actually the filling mechanism on the pod. When you were opening it up, they only had like an oval filling port. So when you was putting your nib in there, you was getting an airlock and juice was going all over. Where with this one, they've made it in sort of like a key design. So you can get the air in there. When you're putting your nib in there, the air's being able to get in there and it's not creating an airlock. So you're not getting that juice all over. So a big thumbs up for that. Also, they've changed the colour of the pod. Instead of it being a darkened plastic, it is now a clear plastic. It's still sometimes hard to see how much juice you've got in there, but it's a lot better than what it was. But apart from that, I haven't got any more cons to it. What about the flavour? What about the clouds? Corking clouds and corking flavour. That is the 1 ohm coil. And we've got that at 13.5 watts. I've never had a problem with the flavour from it. The BVC coils. It's in my top 5 of flavour of these sort of devices. The 0.6 mesh coil as well is really good. You can use 70-30 in that. I've had no problem. You can dial your airflow in there. You can either have a mouth to lung when you're using the 1 ohm coil, or you can have a really good direct to lung when you're using the 0.6 ohm coil. Yeah, I really do like it. I'm not going to get into the politics of how many of these are going to be released. It's not my sort of thing, so I'm not going to be touching on that. You've got a 1000 mAh battery in there. It's going to last you most of the day if you're not chain vaping. If you're chain vaping, you're going to have to charge it at some point. But yeah, I really do like the flavour. The designs on it as well are really good. I quite like the swirly ones, but also, I'll just put it above my shoulder. Also, you've got your standard blacks, silvers, which if you're not into these sort of designs is going to appeal to you. The added wattage is really good. If you're in the 1 ohm coil, it'll only go up to 13.5, so you're not going to burn your coil out if you accidentally push it up to the 22 watts. And obviously with you having the 0.6 ohm mesh coil, you're going to get a little bit more power by pushing it up to the 22. I think adding the wattage to it is a really good idea. And like I said, the flavour's absolutely corking on it. So all in all, big thumbs up from Little Bro. Like I said, I'm not going to get into the politics of how many of these are going to be released, but I like that they've sorted out plenty of the problems. I like the fact as well that you can swap the pods over, so if you don't like that mouthpiece, you can use that mouthpiece instead. Nice, fits really nice in your hand, nice and light. Who's it going to be aimed at? It's going to be really good for the people who are coming off of the stinkies. It's a very simple device to use, and you've also got that added bit where you can use the wattage. So if you're coming off the stinkers, you can use your Nick salts in it. And also if it's somebody like me where you want to just stick it in your pocket, take it to the pub or to the office or stick it in your car, it's well worth it. I think they're going for around about £20 odd, I think. So they're not absolutely massively dear either. So it's not bad for an all-day banger. Well, this has been another review from Little Bro. If you've liked the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. The subscribe button's in the corner. Give it a little press and give it a new magic number. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so go hit me up over there, people. And there's one last thing to say. Keep them juices flowing. Don't forget to check out my latest video. Also, don't forget to check out 3 Men and a Vape Show live at 8 PM every Wednesday. And also, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell, and we'll catch you later.